Welcome. It's so amazing to have a conversation with you. I'm Aki Soriano Versosa, Executive Director of Filipino Worker Center, as you know, and co-chair of the Filipino Voter Empowerment Project. And, I just want to get straight into it. So we're in historic times right now, and you are a giant figure in the Latinx community as former leader of the Senate, and now you are LA City Council elect of CD14.
Correct.
Can you talk about more like why, especially now, this election, is it so important for the Asian Pacific Islander community to get out and vote?
The largest API community is in fact the Filipino American community, contrary to what folks may believe. But in short, getting the whole API community involved in electoral politics is absolutely critical for the well-being of all of our communities. Because what I like to say to folks is this: if you don't get involved in politics, politics gets involved with you. You go, back in our history, Prop 187.
That was the first time that I got arrested doing social disobedience. I was with Prop 187 as a young UCLA college student.
And I didn't get arrested at that time, right? But I helped organize what was then at the time the largest march in the history of Los Angeles, when we had 150,000 people marching from Cinco Puntos. There we go, in Boyle Heights. I wish we would have known each other back then. It's 150,000 people. It would have been hard to navigate and meet each other, right? But remember, the march started in Boyle Heights, Cinco Puntos, went down what was then Brooklyn Avenue, Cesar Chavez today, right in front of the LA Times building, between LA Times building and City Hall. And to see so many people was incredibly, for me, it had such a huge impact. It was an inflection point for me. That's what actually got me started in politics.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because the API communities are overwhelmingly immigrant, as well as the Latinx community, right? So, a lot of people think because they can't vote that they have this election doesn't actually involve them. One of my messages has been, no matter who you are, you can impact this election by volunteering, by helping to educate others about the issues that are at stake. Is this a community effort? Like, what would be our message to our community, especially our immigrant community who does not yet have the privilege to vote?
Well, I would say, and you're absolutely right, it doesn't make a difference if you're a U.S. citizen born, if you're a naturalized citizen, if you're a legal permanent resident without the ability to actually vote, or if you're an undocumented immigrant, because we're in this together. So if you don't have the right to vote as of yet, and perhaps you're undocumented, but you'd like to see, a comprehensive immigration reform package at the federal level, then, you can make phone calls to battleground states.
Yes.
You can tell other friends to make sure to vote. You can tell your family members to say, hey, you know what, get off your butt, because you're a U.S. citizen and you're not even exercising that right. Now, you need to go out there and be my voice, because I cannot vote at the ballot box, but you can do it for me. I need you to step up, When it comes to the issue of immigration reform, to me it's absolutely absurd that we're in 2020 and we still have such a sizable undocumented population nationwide. Obviously in California, we're home to the largest, undocumented population. And the very fact during COVID-19, that without them, they're pillars of our economy. Without them, we can't eat, because every single fruit, every single vegetable, if you're a pescatarian, if you're a vegetarian, if you're a vegan, if you are a carnivore, it doesn't make a difference. An undocumented worker, touch that food, pick that food, can that food. They're the ones in construction, they're the ones taking care of your children, in wealthy neighborhoods. Without them, this economy completely implodes 100%. So to honor them, we need to do them right, and we need to move forward with a comprehensive immigration reform.
I think that the pandemic, that's one thing that it's shown, how interconnected we are.
Yes.
And that we, having huge segments of our population that are suffering from poverty conditions actually makes our whole society unsafe.
I'm very fortunate And I'm very lucky. You know, my mother was a domestic worker. I'm the youngest child of a single immigrant mother with a third grade education. I wasn't the brightest student in high school, nor was I in college. I'm a beneficiary of a program called Affirmative Action. And it was activists and advocates before me, a generation before me, who had the wisdom and the courage to fight for what's right and give someone like me an opportunity to go on to higher education, someone with not so good grades and not good SAT scores, but they took a chance on me. And if it wasn't for that, I would not have that opportunity, you know, to be before you, you know, Aki, and have an opportunity to share, you know, my thoughts, you know, on today's current events. But it is policies put in place to help correct the deep-rooted inequities. And I know sometimes there's angst with other folks saying, well, you're trying to take away from me to give to them. No, 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 no. I want this to be inclusive. I don't want to hurt you, to lift other folks up. I want all of us to come together right here. But it behooves us in our own economic, political self-interest and as a society that is truly American.
And affirmative action is back on the ballot this
Prop
year
16.
too. Prop 16.
Prop 16, yes. You know, I'm a strong supporter of Prop 16.
Well, thank you so much for coming down today.
No, thank you. Thank you. On the
And
contrary, I appreciate it.